Regieleki is now in Pokemon Go. As part of the ever-popular Elite Raid system, you can get Regieleki, right? They did the initial release on Easter Sunday, which was a genius maneuver from Niantic. But is it any good? Well, we'll talk about that in this video. And I also didn't do a video on Regidrago yet, a previous Elite Raid Pokemon. So I'll also cover it here. I'll cover both of the new Regis in this video. When it comes to Regidrago, first and foremost, it looks pretty cool. Like, that's one thing I really do like about Regidrago. A lot of people aren't about the new Regis in general. They're like, why do we need more of these? But look at it. Like, it's like this orb, and then it's got, like, I don't know, a shiny Charizard mouth going on. It's a pretty cool looking dude. As far as the stats go, not nearly as cool. We're looking at a 202 attack stat, 101 defense, and a pretty thick 400 stamina stat. When it comes to its CP per level, you know, you're going to be getting this thing at level 20. Doesn't look like it can fit into the Great League, so this stamina a little bit gone to waste here. But it could have some flair in the Ultra League. As far as being a raid attacker goes, though, 202 attack kind of cements it as not that great. When you scroll on down to its move pool, things don't look a whole lot better either. For the fast moves, we only have Bite. And checking into it, Regidrago is the only Regi of the pack that doesn't get Lock On. So it's only Bite. It can also learn Dragon Breath as a fast move in the main series games. So I don't know why they didn't give the Dragon Pokemon the Dragon Breath. Maybe Dragon Breath they felt was a little bit too good for a Regi, where they usually try to keep with the low damage, high energy kind of theme, but then they gave it Bite, so I don't know, kind of goofy overall. When it comes to the charge moves, we got Outrage, Dragon Pulse, and Hyper Beam, all of which aren't very good. Still keeps with the theme of the Regis having like the high energy cost charge moves, but yeah, nothing particularly interesting going on here for Regidrago. So for raids and for PvP, it's just kind of a dud, and I don't really see things getting a whole lot better for it in the future. Then next up, we got Regieleki, and first and foremost, this thing is very energetic. Just look at it bouncing around down there. Definitely a fun, happy Pokemon. When it comes to its stats aren't too bad for raids either. We got a 250 attack stat, so it could be kind of interesting. Of course, these stats are kind of the death knell for it, though, when it comes to Great League PvP. Definitely not the strongest of the strong in terms of bulk going on here. But it could be interesting if it gets the right move pool. Then when it comes to the move pool, things are looking a little bit better than Regidrago. I mean, we got Lock On and Thunder Shock for starters, so we got a same type attack bonus move that gets good energy, and then we got the highest energy gaining fast move in the game, and we got Zap Cannon, which is something that Registeel uses pretty well, but we don't have any other coverage moves to really back that Zap Cannon up, so Regieleki is a little bit lacking in that department. And looking forward in the main series games, it doesn't appear that there's any real coverage options that could help Regieleki out in the future either. I mean, the future is unwritten, so something could come around sometime to give Regieleki a little bit more flair, and I think it has more opportunities to spice up than what Regidrago has, so we'll have to see what the future has in store for the Regieleki here. But when it comes to PvP at least, in the current and in the foreseeable future, I don't see a whole lot coming out of this thing. Regieleki does have some potential to be like a solid B or C lister in the raid scene in the future, right? So if you check out the DPS TDO spreadsheet here on Game Press, you can see right now with the Thundershock Zap Cannon moveset, we're looking at 14.75 DPS, so overall, not that good. You know, we're a step above Zebstrika. You know, that's not saying a whole lot, but if they were to upgrade its move pool with either a Thunderbolt or a Wild Charge, then we could bump up to page 2 here. With Wild Charge, we'd be on the same level as Electivire, and then with Thunderbolt, we'd be slightly ahead of the Zapdos here, and that's because we got a good attack stat going on. And if Pokemon Go were to do the unthinkable and give it both Volt Switch and Wild Charge, then we could see a performance that surpasses the Thundurus here in terms of DPS, making it a pretty solid raid attacker. So I guess if Pokemon Go did want to spice up the Regieleki in the future, Volt Switch and Wild Charge, or just wild charge could be a way to do it. But that's in the future, and the bad Regis, I guess, are in the present. It's kind of goofy to me too, because the elite raids are Pokemon Go's attempt to get people, raiding outside, interacting with their local communities, and not relying on the remote raid passes, right? But they keep releasing these duds that are just not interesting as anything beyond just like dex fillers. So I don't really get it. And then when it comes to the dex filler side of the force too, most players, like the collection minded players, usually don't do new raid bosses until the shiny comes out. At least in my experience, when I was trying to trade with people for Tapu Finis during the community day, when Tapu Fini first came out, a lot of people told me they didn't even do a single Tapu Fini raid yet because there was no point in spending their time or their money doing that because the shiny's not out yet. And when the shiny comes out, they'll do a bunch of raids, but until that time comes, they're just going to be staying at home. So these elite raid Pokemon, which are more annoying to obtain than normal raid Pokemon are, they're not even shiny Pokemon. Niantic goals are clearly beyond my understanding, of course. But beyond all that, that's all I gotta say about these two new Regis. I think the designs are really cool, so I'm happy to see them in Pokemon Go nonetheless. If you got any questions on this content, of course, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. And if you enjoyed this kind of content, you want to see more like it, well, make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these Patreon supporters. If you want to support Swagman on Patreon, link in the description. Look at this little guy bouncing around. The grandmas in Singapore, they go absolutely bananas for this kind of stuff. Surely.